But tell me, man, why do you believe that Jay and Puffy is close, even though Jay's lawyer came out and said they're not?
Because Jay-Z and Puff was given an assignment.
Is he this gangster that behind the scenes that is that him? Or is that
Shout out to Wendy Williams.
Shakur, just hearing the name shakes the internet to its core. But this week, the shock has gone nuclear. For nearly 3 decades, the world believed he was gone forever, taken by a drive-by on the Vegas Strip, a casualty of the East Coast-West Coast war. And yet, social media has erupted with one claim. Shakur is back. Not just a rumor of him smoking cigars in Havana. Not just another grainy nightclub photo. This time, the story is darker. The whispers say he's alive, furious, and ready to tear down the twin empires of Jay-Z and Diddy. Hashtags like Shakur exposes Jay-Z and Diddy panics are dominating feeds, eclipsing election scandals and celebrity divorces. And one brutal question now echoes louder than ever. Could this be the most explosive comeback in music history?
It was to destroy East Coast rap. And what I mean by that, and I know people gonna be like, yo, Gene is out of his mind and everything like that. Check this out, bro.
The internet is drowning in chaos. Shaky videos, blurry screenshots, and supposed sightings show a man in Havana who looks exactly like Shakur. Old conspiracy clips are back in rotation. Bodyguard confessions are being picked apart. And one phrase echoes through it all. He didn't return to rap. He returned for revenge. Fans of Machiavelli whisper that his disappearance wasn't tragedy, but strategy. A planned exile to Cuba, shielded by allies, while collecting evidence against his enemies. Strange details only fuel the fire. A coroner's report that never matched his height. A cremator who vanished. Suge Knight insisting he never died. Now, the silence of nearly 3 decades threatens to explode, aimed straight at Jay-Z and Diddy's carefully built legacies. The whispers grow darker. Shakur's fatal memoir, a forbidden manuscript hidden in Cuban vaults, naming names, spilling secrets, and exposing betrayals. If it's real, it doesn't just retell history, it destroys it.
I can't wait. I can't wait for everybody to find out what's really been going on in the background.
And then comes the second bombshell, darker than any hidden manuscript. For years, whispers about tapes Shakur recorded before 1996 lingered in the shadows. But now, the rumor is deafening. These aren't freestyles or half-finished songs. They're said to be private conversations. Jay-Z and Diddy allegedly caught admitting to corruption, violence, and cover-ups so sinister they make Watergate seem like a prank. If real, everything they built could vanish overnight. Billion-dollar brands, sports agencies, streaming empires. Imagine Jay-Z, the hustler turned mogul, hearing his younger voice echo across courtrooms. Imagine Diddy, already buried in lawsuits, suddenly linked to hip-hop's darkest mystery. And then comes 50 Cent, gleefully fanning the flames, mocking Jay-Z's loyalty with a reminder. In today's world, standing with Diddy looks less like strength and more like poison.
That's just competitive.
Competitiveness.
All right, so you and Diddy, you and Puff cool?
No, I don't really rock with him.
Okay,
like that.
damn, all right. I didn't know what that meant.
Okay.
All right, okay.
Diddy's empire is crumbling under its own weight. Once the king of Bad Boy Records, now he's the man dragged into federal indictments. Prosecutors accuse him of running a criminal enterprise, racketeering, trafficking, coercion. The kind of charges that make even hardened courtroom veterans recoil. And the cases keep getting darker. Witnesses vanish, others hesitate to testify. Yet the storm grows heavier. Behind closed doors, whispers of million-dollar NDAs and hidden footage from infamous freak-offs surface. And now, layered on top of it all, comes Shakur's supposed resurrection, pointing straight at Diddy from the shadows. Prosecutors already compare his empire to Jeffrey Epstein's. But if the rumors are true, if Shakur left behind tapes linking Diddy to violence, to cover-ups, and worse, then the collapse won't just be legal. It'll be historic.
What's the stuff that's happening with Wendy Williams? Do you think this is all connection too?
Of course.
The conspiracies twist so tightly now, the whole industry shivers. On TikTok, theorists connect Jay-Z, Diddy, and even Beyonce to an eerie pattern. The deaths of Aaliyah, Left Eye, and Michael Jackson, all on the 25th. Coincidence or ritual? Some point to Beyonce's near worship at award shows, Adele breaking trophies in her honor, calling it more than fandom, a pledge to a secret circle. The proof may be thin, but the virality is real. And when whispers of Shakur's hidden tapes return, the impossible starts to feel true. If he faked his death, lived under Castro's shield in Cuba, and built a vault of secrets, maybe every piece connects. Leaked files reveal a police interview mentioning Diddy's name 47 times in Shakur's 1996 shooting. And Keefe D, awaiting trial, even claimed Diddy offered millions for the heads of Shakur and Suge Knight. Once dismissed, that tale now collides with Diddy's trafficking case, and suddenly the dots align.
I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make up their...
The industry now stands on shaking ground. Jay-Z, once telling Vanity Fair that he sold crack just to buy clothes and survive, now faces whispers of something far darker. Diddy, the man who sold the world glossy dreams of champagne bottles and Ciroc-soaked parties, now stares at the real possibility of life behind bars. And above them both, like a ghost refusing the grave, stands Shakur. Whether in flesh or legend, his shadow threatens to topple everything. Armed with memoirs, tapes, and truths no one dares release, was Shakur's Vegas end really the finale, or a cover? The whispers say it was camouflage, that powerful men wanted him gone, that survival meant vanishing. Stories swirl of late-night flights to the Caribbean, Castro offering sanctuary in Havana, body doubles sealing the illusion. If true, Shakur didn't just escape. He staged the most dangerous move in music history. Not disappearance, but war. And now, decades later, the final act may be unfolding.
The potential. Jay was more quiet. But I mean, I learned that Jay was being quiet because he was taking notes. He was taking notes, observing everything, taking it all in. Because, sometimes you're around and you're watching to see things to do. But some people are around.
The spotlight tightens on the rivalry that once tore hip-hop apart. Everyone remembers Shakur versus Biggie, East Coast against West. But behind the headlines, another story was unfolding. Jay-Z, a young Brooklyn hustler then, was selling mixtapes out of car trunks just as Shakur stood at his peak. And then, within months of Shakur's supposed death, Jay-Z's rise began. His debut album landed in 1996, the very year Shakur vanished. From there, his climb was unstoppable. Within a decade, Jay-Z wasn't just rhyming, he was building an empire. So the question lingers, was Shakur's fall the ultimate chess move, clearing the path for Jay-Z's ascent? Or was it fate's cruel twist? One man buried while another soared. Jay-Z himself once said, to be in a deal, you need to know what you can spend, what you need to re-up. At some point, you need an exit strategy. He meant the streets, but some whisper he meant more.
I don't think they are scared of him. I think they more so, they don't want him to embarrass their reputation and things that they've been known for. You understand?
Fast forward to today. The man once crowned hip-hop's eternal showman, Diddy, is crumbling before our eyes. The mogul who built Bad Boy into a cultural powerhouse now sits in federal custody. Prosecutors accuse him of turning his label into a criminal empire, fueled by coercion, manipulation, and control. Courtroom drama has already revealed vanished witnesses, sealed NDAs, and lurid recordings seized in raids. The charges could lock him away for life. And the last thing he needs now is a ghost, Shakur, resurfacing with proof that Diddy had a hand in erasing him. Panic is showing. His social media has gone silent. The once boastful figure reduced to whispers. Behind the scenes, his lawyers scramble, filing motions, burying claims in paperwork. But the cracks are visible. 50 Cent mocks him online. Artists whisper that loyalty to Diddy is toxic. The empire is collapsing. And if Shakur truly returns with memoirs and tapes, then Diddy's nightmare is only beginning.
To engage in all these freak-offs with him, and he sounds really pissed off.
Hey, I really don't know what's going on with you, but I just want to just give you a heads up that I'm about to really disappear on you. You feel me? I'm not going to be playing these games with you at all, at all. So I don't know, you think you silent treating me, and you think I'm going to be, nah. You'll have a rude awakening.
The irony is chilling. Diddy has long been tied to Shakur's Vegas shooting in whispers, police files, and documentaries. Insiders accused him of offering millions for the hit, claims he brushed off as fantasy. But now, with rumors of Shakur alive and ready to speak, those whispers feel like prophecy. Federal raids on Diddy's mansions already uncovered evidence painting him as a predator. If Shakur emerges with proof, tying Diddy to that night in 1996. To cover-ups that rewrote history, then he doesn't just lose his empire. He becomes the villain in music's darkest unsolved story. And if those memoirs and tapes implicate both Jay-Z and Diddy, the fallout spreads wider, unraveling labels, executives, and global icons. TikTok theorists even tied Beyoncé to patterns marked by the eerie dates of Aaliyah, Left Eye, and Michael Jackson's deaths. Coincidence to some, ritual to others. If Shakur returns to expose the machine, then no superstar in its shadow is safe.
That was all the people that went to the Puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once go fluid.
We have to consider this may not be about revenge at all. Shakur was never just an artist. He was a strategist, a thinker who studied Machiavelli and mastered the power of illusion. What if faking his passing wasn't only survival, but strategy? A chance to step away, to wait until the moment was right to strike back. If so, his return isn't simply about one man reclaiming his voice, but about pulling back the curtain on an industry built on secrecy and lies. The rivalries, the crowns, the legends. Maybe they were all manufactured in boardrooms, sealed with contracts, and protected by silence. If Shakur truly reemerges, this becomes more than the comeback of a rapper. It becomes a rebellion. For decades, artists have cried out about stolen royalties, rigged careers, and the machine that chewed them up. Shakur, who spoke against corruption even at his peak, may now be positioning himself as the man who tears the system apart from within.
Phil explained why he's speaking out now.
He said he's speaking out because he believes Diddy's a predator. He wants accountability, and he doesn't want someone like this to run unchecked in the future.
Exploitation in music is nothing new. Hip-hop especially has watched young artists lured by upfront advances, only to be chained by contracts that bled them dry. Entire catalogs sold without consent. Voices silenced, careers blacklisted. Shakur warned us about it, both in lyrics and interviews, calling out the culture of control. If he truly returns with proof, it could confirm what generations of artists suspected, that the system was never built for them. His disappearance may not have been just survival, but strategy. Decades in hiding, gathering files, testimonies, and recordings, building a case against the industry itself. Imagine 30 years of evidence pointing to an empire of exploitation. That wouldn't just destroy moguls. It would force a reckoning on labels, streaming platforms, and the very infrastructure of music itself.
To each their own, and why would they not have when they're...
There's also a deeper generational war unfolding. Today's artists are louder than ever about independence, launching their own labels, fighting for control of masters, and demanding fairness in contracts. Many have bypassed the gatekeepers completely, using social media as their stage. If Shakur reappears now, aligning himself with this movement, he becomes more than a survivor. He becomes the elder revolutionary, giving weight and urgency to a struggle younger voices are already waging. His presence could unite scattered protests into a single rebellion against the machine that silenced so many. Suddenly, the story is no longer about revenge or even one man's justice. It becomes a battle between a system built on secrecy and the artist demanding freedom. Shakur's return could be the rallying cry, the spark of a cultural reckoning not seen since the civil rights era. And if that's his true mission, then what lies ahead isn't scandal, it's revolution. And now we stand at the edge of something far greater than any scandal hip-hop has ever seen. Jay-Z, the billionaire mogul, may soon face hard questions about what doors were opened for him in the late 90s. Diddy, already fighting for survival in court, could watch his empire crumble if the man he feared most truly steps back into the light. And Shakur, if it really is him, holds the power to set the entire system on fire. What if this isn't a comeback at all? What if this is the reckoning hip-hop tried to bury but always knew was coming? So we leave you with this. If Shakur is back, is he here to settle old scores? Or to tear down an industry built on betrayal, secrecy, and blood? Tell us what you believe in the comments. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and never forget, the truth has a way of breaking through when we least expect it.